My name is Blurry Face, and I care what you think. My name is Blurry Face, and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Sometimes a certain smell takes me back to when I was young. I'm never able to identify where it's coming from. I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, I'd probably only sell one to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, stone's throw from where we used to roam. It would remind us when nothing really mattered, of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at our face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. We used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Just dream of outer space, now they're laughing at our face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Wake up, you need to make money. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out. We're stressed out.
Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the book report. Please welcome already on stage your hosts, Jesse and Dana.
That's us.
Oh,
That's us, everybody. I'm Jesse,
I'm Dana.
and this is.
Although technically we could swap names and it would still work.
Would it work? But
Yeah.
you would have to be Jesse with an I. I think one of
Yeah,
your
and you
hairs
have
is.
to be Dana with no Y.
One of your hairs came
Oh,
on me.
just one? I have so many.
Yeah.
And they're very
I'm
long.
gonna have to explain that later. How are you, Dana?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's like the weather's perfect right now. Like we're gonna enjoy these next 2 weeks before like we don't leave the house for 2 months. Yeah. How are you?
I'm excited. I read a book and I don't
I
know if
can't
it's
wait
too
to
soon
hear
talk
about this. Let's
Okay.
hear it. Let's tell us.
So I've been waiting for this book to come out for probably years.
Years?
Yes, because I heard about it right when it was just starting to be like a maybe it might get written and published. So my best friend, Anne-Marie McLemore, is an author, and they probably have, this is like their 10th book. They write a lot of stuff, and they co-wrote this with their husband, Elliot, and the book's dedicated to me.
The book's dedicated to
Yes.
you? Shut up.
Yes.
Let me see this.
Damn.
To Dana Marie Bryant. That's her.
Me.
Princessa Reina and the best friend 2 boys and a girl could ask for. And to the prince who proves worthy of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's okay. First of all, you have friends who have published 10 books.
Yeah.
My friends grow weed. Like we're not the same. Did you have any idea that the book was going to be dedicated to you? Like when did you learn that it was going to be dedicated to you?
At Christmas. So I knew that they were writing a book together and that one of the minor characters was going to be based on me. I just went to their book launch party. So like the 2 characters that are the main characters of the book, one of them is a transgender prince who's pretending to be his brother, and the other one is a like lady in waiting, but also is a guy spy, and so like switches between the 2, and so those 2 characters meet each other, and they're different sort of guises and they're different personas, and then fight and maybe fall in love. I don't know, like that's what happens.
Have you read the book?
I did. I just finished it this morning. I liked it a lot. The character based on me is the princess, so I'm like, I'm a princess now, so thank you.
Wait, let me see this. Let me see this. Hold on, because I might say something that I don't want to regret it after I say it. Okay, very large text, and how many pages? 325. I think I'm gonna have to buy a copy of this book because it's dedicated to you.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And it's
awesome.
fantasy, so there's magic and there's fighting and it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, and you and I, we've been friends now for like what 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're not like best friends, but like I definitely think that Dana's cool enough that I at least want a commitment from her once a month. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do a show together. That way I know I'm gonna get to see you at least once a month. Like
Exactly.
that's awesome. I think I'm gonna have to buy a copy of that book because I'm sure I can find it like on Amazon or where does she have her own website? Should I buy it from her website?
I don't know if they have a website. My best friend identifies as non-binary.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Yes, and then but you shouldn't buy books on Amazon because they way undercut the price.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Where should I buy their book?
I would find a bookstore, a local bookstore that you love, and buy it there. Like if you can't do it in person, online. Like I bought it. Like I bought a lot of books during the pandemic from Facing a Book in El Dorado Hills because I used to work by there and I've been there a few times. So I just go online and buy books from there and they ship it to me. Like it's a little bit more expensive, but like you're actually like paying.
No, I'm
for,
cool
like,
with that. Yeah.
For the work that people do, and to keep brick and mortar bookstores and.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome to the book report. This show was kind of born out of there's two things that there's 3 things that made this show come to life. One was weed. I was really high and I was like, oh, you know what would be great? You know what would be great? Okay. And then the second thing was that I love books. Like I still love books and bookstores. And the third thing is that I'm a stand-up comic, but I started doing improv, right? So I did improv for like 3 or 4 years, and the number one feedback that I would always get would be, oh, Jesse, you're funny and you've got great timing, but you're not a team player. Like you're never not Jesse on stage. And I like realized, okay, I think stand up is my calling and not improv. And I would always run into comics who would tell me, I can do improv, it's easy, you just make it up. And I'm like, no, it's hard. And they're like, whatever. And I'm like, I want to start a show where I make comics do improv, and they realize, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And it has been a lot of fun. But to make sure that it's a good show for the audience, we also book an improviser that kind of knows what they're doing. So you kind of get one fish out of water and one like, oh, I kind of know what I'm doing. We're hoping knows what they're doing. But that's where the show came from. Dana, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and like I'm totally like the opposite. I'm like, please don't make me be funny by myself. Like, please give me somebody else. I'll give you ideas and I'll give you things and you can run with that. Cause oh my god, like I thought about what would I do if I did stand up, but I'd be like, I don't want to do any like the typical. Maybe I'm too much of a goody two shoes, I think, to do stand up. So it would all be like, let me tell you this cute thing I learned about wild cats.
You can do a bit on that.
Yes.
I'm sure you could. Yeah. So for years, I've been bugging Dana. You should try stand-up. You should try stand-up. And I think you mentioned it once, and that's why I won't let it go now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm sort of in the mood for like something new. I don't know if that means trying stand-up, writing a book. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Writing a book?
Well, technically a second book, but yes.
What was your first book?
I didn't do anything with it. It's just a file on my laptop. So.
How many pages? What's the word count?
It's huge. Like, I did the math, and I think that if I had it published, it'd be, like, close to 400 pages.
Wow. How long did that, was that like 15 years worth of ideas and work, or did you just do a lot of coke one night and hammer it out?
No, I definitely took, like...
Like the best authors of the 80s.
I've never done coke, so no.
Okay.
Even though that
the 80s was
people.
The last time you would have wanted to do
Yeah.
it. You don't want to do it now.
No.
Okay.
So, it took me like 3 years, and I just kind of, in between different things, wrote stuff down. Like, I had the idea in my head for years before that, and it was just like, I know where the story goes, so I'll just write it down, and then I didn't do anything with it.
And was your friend already publishing books while you're, like, did you bounce ideas off of them? Of, like, structure and characters and...
Not really, because I was just like, I don't even know if I'm going to tell anyone I'm doing this. And then so after, and I kept, every time I'd sit down and write, I'd be like, I'm not going to finish this ever, so it doesn't matter. And then I finished it, and I was like, oh shit.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you do something. Even if you just self-publish it and do like 50 copies of it, it'd be great to have it. Like, that's a lot of work.
Right? I'm like, that pause on the student loans is ending soon, so I need another work.
Oh, I know. I keep getting those reminders.
I need another income stream.
Yeah. I hear it. Hey, you want to bring our first guest up?
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring up our first guest. I may have met our first guest months ago, but like I forget people because I meet so many people at open mics and at shows that I'm just like, oh, I don't know. But they caught my attention recently. I've seen them at open mics, and they just have this huge, bright, bubbly, laughable personality, and I just adore them. So let's bring to the stage, please, Lizzie Marie Bowen. Maybe.
You said it right the first time.
Oh, okay. How's it going? Welcome.
Thank you for saying all those sweet things.
Okay, so how do I say your name right?
Bowen, you had it right.
Okay, it's Bowen. Okay.
Middle name Maria.
Maria. Oh, I made you Irish.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have the, Hispanic middle name and then the super white last name, so it's very confusing.
Yeah, I was totally confused. Yeah, because you're Puerto Rican?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I look pretty white. I am, but anyway.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, we're great. We're cheery. Yeah. Do you love books?
I do love books.
Uh-huh.
I preferably love to read plays. It's really interesting because when you think about plays, people want to they think about going and watching plays, but I like to read them and visualize like the blocking and stuff in my head, create it like my own way, you know?
Do you think your love of reading plays, was that born, like, were you a theater kid in high school? Where did the love of reading plays come from?
Oh yeah, ever since I was little, I always wanted to do theater or acting, so I've pretty much since high school been reading plays.
Uh-huh. Who put that bug in you? Who planted that seed?
Oh my goodness. I think I took an English class and we read Othello, and I was just like
loathe the Moor.
obsessed.
I loathe the Moor. Was that the classic line from Othello? I loathe the Moor?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But that's when I was all like, I just, you know, you can go and see like Shakespeare plays and stuff, but I just really loved reading it.
Mm.
When I was in high school, like in my English classes, each quarter you had to like read a book on your own, and you could read like all these huge giant books, or you could read a Shakespeare play and they're like 80 pages, and I was like, I'm gonna work the system to read a Shakespeare play.
Are all of Shakespeare's plays relatively short, or?
Well, plays are shorter because you know you have to perform them in like a few hours.
Yeah, so plays are pretty, usually, typically a Shakespeare play is like 2 hours to perform, 2.5 hours, not longer than that. So most of them are pretty short.
Uh-huh. Did you ever, like, when you were a kid and you were reading a book, were you ever like, wait a minute, this movie's 2 hours, but it took me 3 weeks to read the book? This isn't adding up.
Yeah, that used to piss me off.
So did we mention the name of your book yet?
Oh, no.
Did we even say that? Because we knew it behind the scenes. And I
So,
don't know. Yeah. Tell the audience, please, what you...
I have here Macbeth, and I have the most updated Folgers edition, which means it's for stupid people like me, so you can see the actual translation in the book as well and understand it better.
And did that help?
It did help because, like, I'm the kind of person who, like, my mind will also wander while I'm getting into the story, and then I'll have to reread and stuff like that. And then so sometimes I'll just flip to the side of the page that has a translation, and I'll be like, okay.
Let's go back to your love of books first before we get into the actual book report. Do you still buy books, or are you a Kindle person now?
Oh, God,
And we're not
I hate
going to hold
Kindles.
it again. Oh, really?
If I'm gonna read a book, I want the paper in my hand. I want to kill some trees.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them anyway.
Yeah. There's plenty.
Yes, we're in the city of trees. Yeah. So,
Can't all be wasted on Bibles. Come on.
what is there do you still love going to bookstores and coffee shops and all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love coffee, and I love wandering bookstores. I do purchase a lot of books that I don't read.
Welcome to the club. Well, Dana, you've confessed that too, right?
Oh yeah, probably at least like 60 books on my unread shelf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like years, like yeah.
I don't do a lot of I do a lot of nonfiction and like biographies, right? I don't do a lot of story like fictional books. But I forgot where I was going with that question. Anyway.
Interesting. So you like autobiographies or maybe bibliographies?
Or biographies?
Biographies,
Biographies, yeah.
You know, when you said that, it reminded me that even though I like fictional stories, one book that I read that was 800 pages was actually, I don't know if you guys saw that movie, The Enigma, that came out a couple years ago with Benedict Cumberbatch. It was based off of the biography of Alan Turing, who was the guy that invented the first computer that helped win World War II.
Oh, I was out.
It was 800 pages, and for some reason I was so just interested in his life. So.
Have you done any more research about them?
No, I feel like, 800 pages, I think I'm good.
Yeah. So do you also have a ton of unread books, or do you read them all?
It's like half and half.
Half and half? What's one unread book on your shelf that you're like, I gotta crack that?
Okay, well, I started, I can't remember, Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. I've read like the first 3 pages, and then I keep forgetting that it exists on my shelf, and I've been meaning to read it, so.
So comic to comic, right? Do you read a lot of comic bio? Because I read I not finished, but started right now. I have a Red Fox book, a Don Rickles book, and my Steve Martin book that I just go back and forth to. Have you done any other comedy books or like comedic biographies?
No, but I have actually read a Steve Martin play that counts because I was in it.
Oh wow! Look at you, humble brag. Tell us about that.
It's called Picasso at the La Pena Gil. I don't know if you knew that, but Steve Martin has a couple of plays, and one I can't remember what the other one is called, but if you know, he like plays the banjo and stuff, and he actually has written some bluegrass music.
He's like one of Graham. He's like he's a novice banjo player. He's like world class. Like, yeah, that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book. What's your book?
What's my book? Yeah.
Well,
so
you want to get into your book report now?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do it. Okay. So I have here Macbeth, and I'm gonna eventually spoil the ending for you if you have not read Macbeth.
Spoiler
because-
alert.
I mean, by now,
400 years.
you for real though.
He was about to read it tomorrow.
So basically, this book starts off with kind of I don't know the word I'm looking for, like a prophecy or whatever of a possible future for a lord, Macbeth, and these witches come and tell him of this prophecy of how he could possibly gain wealth or more power in the kingdom that he is currently in. And they give him some warnings about what that could come with, but that excited him. So he went on to, I can't remember what his name is, but he went on to kill that king, and secretively. So he was one of the most trusted warriors of the kingdom, but he killed the king.
Wait, so like he like killed the king knowing that it would gain him power.
Yes.
But it was like an assassination that he was responsible for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was responsible for it. It was put in his head by these old hags. And he was actually like really close with the king too. So that's why he got away with it originally without
it wouldn't have
anybody.
been Macbeth.
What's that now?
They're like, it wouldn't have been Macbeth.
Yeah, no,
that did
exactly.
this.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like when the king died, he was like, "Oh my God, this is so crazy. This is horrible." And then his wife was like, "Yeah, power." But yeah, so and that brings me to Lady Macbeth, who actually ends up becoming the whole brains of the operation, right? Kind of controlling her husband to gain more power, convincing him to, kill more warriors, more trusted people of the court, and everything like that to gain more power and land. And yeah, so there's that. So there's a lot of betrayal, a lot of death.
Who else does he kill?
Who else does he kill? Oh my gosh. I'm cheating right now. It has a list of all the characters. So, let me see. Where is it? Because it's almost like I have to remember who he didn't kill.
Oh,
Saying,
wow.
or
That
his
was that
wife.
much killing.
It's one of those. It's one
Okay.
of those. Give me a second, because
All right,
Shakespeare's
sorry.
life is in this for some reason. I think we've been over this a little bit. This is very thorough. Publication. Wow, that's crazy.
I love when the books tell you about the author, and sometimes that's just as interesting when it's some old timey person. I remember when I read The Prince and I learned about Machiavelli, I was like, oh, they smeared his name the whole time. He was not a bad guy, and I felt bad. Oh no, 15th century drama.
It's always the same.
Right.
15th century, 21st century. So a lot of killing.
Yeah, so King Duncan was his name. He was the King of Scotland. So it takes place in Scotland.
Okay.
Definitely not historical at all when Shakespeare was writing this and had this in mind. So it was just it's just to do it in Scotland, I guess.
Yeah. So when does this allegedly take place? Is this the 1800s, the 1700s? Is it
It would definitely.
1987?
It would definitely
disco?
be the, honestly, the earliest it would be 1600s, because these plays I think came out in the 1700s, so it's set before then.
Uh-huh.
A lot of his plays were. Some of them modern, some of them not so. So this was the not so modern one. But I believe he kills Malcolm, which is the king's son. Super crazy. And then Lady Macbeth, that scheming bitch, she actually sent murderers. She paid off these murderers to go send and kill other lords and ladies of other lands in Scotland.
So Lady Macbeth was down with the killing. Like she was like so Macbeth.
She was fucking it up.
So he confided in her his agenda of killing off people to gain more power, and she ran with it.
She did. Actually, she kind of made him feel like he was going crazy.
Oh,
But then she went crazy.
Don't they all?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
We do be doing that. We do be doing that. We found out the secret.
So the mastermind was Lady Macbeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the woman.
And is it? Well, yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not
Absolutely
going
right.
there.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not going
absolutely
there.
right. Yeah, I'm not going there. Yeah. What? Who wants it more, her or him? Or does he doing it to please her? Or
I think that, men's egos, right? So I think ego was kind of fueling that for Macbeth. And then for Lady Macbeth, it's like, I want all of the power and to control my husband, but I don't want him to know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, it actually goes to the point where she goes crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Macbeth becomes the king, and then he kind of has all of this guilt about the people he's killed just to gain all this power. And meanwhile, Lady Macbeth is loving it. But then she is starting to go crazy, and that was part of the prophecy that the witches told. That's going
to be the trade?
Yes. Yeah.
How long, if we're looking at a timeline, like, how long did they even get to enjoy the power versus, like, how long it took them to get there?
Oh my gosh, I feel like it was only like a week. I feel like the timeline that I
really?
read it, like, it all happened so fast, not just because it was a play, but like, they fucked shit up so quick.
So it escalated quickly.
Oh, very quickly.
And that sounds like what always happens where the man sacrifices his wife's mental health to get above in the world.
Wow.
We're making digs on ladies. Let's dig right back.
Wow.
Yep.
Does that sound about right?
It does.
It does. Who's your favorite character in the book? You're kind of leaning. I feel like you're leaning toward Lady Macbeth.
I kind of do like Lady Macbeth, but I also, maybe this is biased because I played her, is Lady Macduff.
Oh, tell us about her.
Lady Macduff is not in the play for very long. However, she's the foil to Lady Macbeth. I don't know if you've talked about that in literature or whatever, of what a foil is.
No.
I have not.
So a foil is like another character that is supposed to imitate the opposite traits of a main character, right? So Lady Macbeth, bitch, crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
Just power hungry, just manipulative. And Lady Macduff is not those things. She wants to serve her husband, wants to take care of their land, their family, and live up to the reputation that they have. And she does end up dying. She does get like those murderers sent for her, but she's like the more pure version of that, like what Lady Macbeth was supposed to be if she wasn't so power hungry,
Okay. So she's like, it's kind of like good and evil, right? Or like,
yeah, no,
or like,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Like, this is the way it could have been this way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you had the option to turn this into like full-scale Hollywood movie or 8-part Netflix series, what would you rather do with this? Do you want this to be a 2-hour movie, or do you want this to be like an episodic?
So I think that making Shakespeare into movies is so overrated. It's been done a lot, and I honestly feel like the way that Shakespeare is written, it's not really conducive. Like, I never enjoy a Shakespeare movie. But I will tell you, if there was a Netflix series for Macbeth, it would be fire. It would be, I feel like it would be so good.
Do you have any idea who you would cast in any of the roles?
I don't know.
Okay, that is kind of a tough question.
That's a really hard one. I don't know.
I will say that I'm really enjoying what Shonda Rhimes did with Bridgerton.
Yes.
And I think she could do Macbeth.
I think, yeah. Who's the young actress that's playing Queen Charlotte, like the young version of her?
I don't know her name.
She could play
She's
Macbeth.
So good.
Yeah, she
Look
could.
at this. You guys are brainstorming it.
Yes.
Yeah. Who do you think should?
Make this happen, Netflix. Where
Do you guys have a director in mind?
A
I
director.
don't know directors.
You don't know director. Okay.
Like
okay.
I know, like guys who are movie buffs and they like rattle off directors' names. I'm like,
Sorry.
Quentin Tarantino is like that's the one that I know. But he would not do it.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Another thing that could be biased, I don't know if you've heard of Tony Kushner. He's a behind-the-scenes kind of producer and director and a playwright as well. I feel like if he got involved because that's his background, that would be really cool.
All right, we're greenlighting this. Tony Kushner production.
Right.
Done. Sold.
Done. So awesome. Is it going to be? Is it going to be TV MA or is it going to be PG-13?
Oh, it'll have to be MA.
It'll have to be MA.
A lot of death,
Murder
a lot of
all
murder.
the time.
Murder. Okay.
Oh yeah. So, by the way,
Tell us.
Macbeth does die in the end in a last battle. So Lord Macduff actually goes out to Macbeth for revenge on his wife,
Uh-huh.
right? And so they duke it out. He gets his head literally chopped off. Yeah. And then Lady
You're happy
Macbeth just
about
like
that.
kind of goes crazy and then she dies. How
How long is she without him? Like, is it a quick spiral?
I feel like it's probably just like was so dramatic that it was kind of like the Romeo and Juliet thing of like instant like, fuck, I'm dead. Anyway,
Wow. Can we talk just for a minute about Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes?
oh no.
Okay, wait. We got no's
No.
and moans over here. We got the audience.
I liked it.
Okay.
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 We're
here's the thing.
we're gonna let her, and then we're going around. Yeah, this is getting some time. Go.
He did really well. He's an awesome actor, but the whole rest of it was shit. It was not, because it wasn't very creative, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Dana.
I mean, I was young when I
Dana
haven't seen it in
Destroyer.
a long time. No,
Okay.
well, I mean, I liked it, but I was young at the time, so like I haven't seen it in a while. And
I
don't
rewatch
know
that
film.
like once a year.
Really?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I just shit on his dream, like what he loves. Just like,
you-
fuck that movie.
Did you still? So I don't condone this director at all, and he can go eat crap. But Joss Whedon made a movie of Much Ado About Nothing. They like filmed it at his house like one weekend, and
Was it the one that was black and white?
yes,
I hated that.
Oh.
Because here's why, although the thing about Shakespeare is it's so timeless that you can put it in any period of time. Like you could dress it up and be like, we're in the 70s now, we're in the here and there. But I feel like they were trying too hard to overly modernize it. Like there's overuse of like the iPhones and stuff, and they were focusing more on that than the actual story.
Okay, let me ask you this. In your Netflix 6-part miniseries, are you going to modernize it or are you going to set it in the times?
No, I feel like it needs to be set in the times, or maybe like it could be a couple of decades later than what it's set.
But it's definitely not
For a
2022.
Netflix series, no.
Okay. What did you guys loved Romeo and Juliet?
I did. I liked how creative it was, how it didn't stick to the original
Uh-huh.
storyline. That's what I liked about it, because somebody tried to stick to the original storyline and failed horribly at it.
Uh-huh.
But when you completely try to redo it, it's really refreshing.
It's great. Who was I loved John Leguizamo's character, Tybalt.
Yes.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Leo DiCaprio, I mean, I'm a nice kid, so that was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Back then, so yeah.
Mercutio was great too in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, all
Look
of them
at
are
her.
honestly.
Your face is just like,
I-
no.
So So they don't use the actual play text, but they take like the story and like modernize it.
Done right, I feel like it's creative enough and it's good. And here's the thing about Shakespeare, right? He wrote like hundreds and is it hundreds or thousands of like plays and sonnets or whatever. However, it is most believed that he took those ideas from other writers, other stories, not like as an intentional like I'm gonna steal that, but it's not an original thought. So making it anew and coming up with new ideas like that, like that's I feel like that's what Shakespeare is for.
That's nice. That's great. Awesome. Dana, do you think you got what you need to start a scene?
I hope so.
Okay, no further questions?
No.
Okay. Lizzie, you
I don't know
ready?
what's gonna- Sure.
Put your book down and Dana's going to launch you into a scene.
All right.
And she'll end it for you too, so don't worry.
Sick. All right.
Okay, you can stand up.
All right.
If you need to sit down later, you can. Hello, I'm going to tell you how to become rich and powerful. You must invest in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yes, I know it is a crime of the soul to invest in Bitcoin, but you must do it.
You know what? I thought Bitcoin was full of crap, but I think I should do it.
Yes. And when you've made money in Bitcoin, you should become famous on TikTok, but especially geared towards giving knowledge to China.
Oh, I would love to give knowledge to China. It would make me even more money.
Yes.
Yes. How does, but like the Bitcoin thing, like how, like what do I?
You get a bunch of naive friends and family of yours to invest in it with you, and then you take all the money out.
Oh, like an MLM.
Yes.
Because
I'm
I'm great at that.
definitely not a Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
And once you become TikTok famous, you're going to join the Republican Party and become president.
That sounds really great. I'm gonna need to write that down actually.
And your husband's gonna be a really hot, famous actor, maybe Michael B. Jordan, and you're gonna drive him crazy and it's gonna suck.
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, but it's gonna go nuts.
I love that. I love making men crazy.
Well,
I think I have his number actually.
you have a very bright future, my dear.
Thank you.
Michael B. Jordan is hot, but suddenly crazy Michael B. Jordan was even hotter.
Okay, well now we need to do Netflix gender swap the roles in Macbeth and let Michael B. Jordan be Lady Macbeth, and then have
I
a
feel
Lady
like,
Macbeth.
honestly, it might work.
Lizzie, thank you for being a guest. And that was an awesome book report and a great improv scene. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, our next performer is also a comic. I met them recently, and they always are just so energetic, so bright, and they have this star quality about them. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to be great on the show. So please welcome to the stage, Kendrick. I forgot his last name. He's such a great friend. Kendrick Williams. How you doing, Kendrick?
Good, hi.
Kendrick, this is Dana.
How you doing, Dana?
Hello, nice to meet you.
How you doing, man?
What's up, Jesse? How you
You're always
doing?
so smooth. Look at you. Look at
Since
you.
I don't do stand up, I don't know a lot of stand up, so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you an avid reader, or did you just want some stage time? What is it?
I know I used to be an avid reader.
What happened?
ADHD.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to like relearn how to read for my brain because initially I was like a great reader. I had like a college reading level in like the 5th grade.
Okay.
But like then girls were introduced to my brain,
Yeah.
and that came ADHD because I was like I can't focus.
See, there's women derailing our greatness again.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. So Macbeth is definitely Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh!
Just gonna say it.
Wow.
Just gonna say it.
Wow. The hot take. Coming in quick with the hot take.
It's like you solve the secret math problem that no one can solve, and we're like, yes.
It's
Why
definitely
did nobody
it.
see it?
It's definitely it. I'm like, y'all can play it out. I'm like, this could be played out 1,000 ways. Like, I'm a big movie buff. I love movies. The reason why I read books is because I saw the movie and I was like, I gotta read the book.
Tell me about that. Where did that start? What was the first one? Or what was the favorite?
My favorite growing up was Neverending Story. Just because it's kind of deep for such a kid movie. Because the themes of it you don't recognize until you get older. Like I read it once when I was really young, and then I read it again when I was like in high school, and you start to see the themes, like the claim of the nothing coming over the world. It's ultimately speaking of the sadness that's been creeping, or the depression that's been creeping through society for years. And it talks about that. So I thought that was, I've always liked movies like that.
I should read that book. It fits my life right now. Sad.
What?
It's pretty sad.
And so you're not much of a reader these days?
These days I read a lot of psychology books.
Oh, tell us about that. Why are you studying psychology?
I'm studying psychology.
Alright.
So right now I'm going through the works of Carl Jung, but it's taking longer than I want to. I kind of worked through some of Freudian, but it gets a little weird because cocaine gets thrown in there.
Yeah.
Blank of mom.
But
you know.
there, for a lot of the stuff that he was disproved on, you could see a lot of proof of it in the pudding. Macbeth. He just listened innately. It's like she knows what she's doing. That speaks so like Freudian what's talking about. You want to have sex with your mother. Yeah. I don't know. It's a long way to get there, but it's a long way to get there. But my brain's
what was Jung famous for? I can't remember. What was his theory, or what was his?
Well, he's had a number of theories. Carl Jung has tackled more as our minds as it relates to our daily life, as how it develops our
The cognitive.
Yeah, the cognitive.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
So what's your book? Is it animated, or what's going on?
Oh, so I always like superheroes on my tattoos.
Tell us about some of your tattoos. Lead us into it.
This one here I actually mixed Black Power and Saiyan Vegeta. His family crest, so I use it as Pride, so it's like Black Pride.
Okay.
I mixed it all together.
Nice.
I mean that. Then I got Superman here.
Okay.
And I have his original name, Kal-El. His Kryptonian name, I guess.
Do people get that?
Never. Unless they're super nerds, never.
So you haven't.
I recognize the Superman S, but I didn't see all the letters. Your arm was sideways. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I know that.
They never see it because a lot of people don't know enough to like know that he has a Kryptonian name. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, his whole family has one.
Okay.
I'm a huge Superman fan.
Really?
Massive.
How did you feel when Batman did that to him?
So historically in the comics, Batman has always whooped Superman's ass. Like,
okay, all right. So you weren't surprised.
No, I wasn't surprised at all. But it was also Superman holds back significantly, and like in the time that he gets really close to actually killing Superman, he almost kills himself. So
I have heard in the fandom, in the nerddom, arguments of there's no way Batman could beat Superman. Where do you stand on that?
If it's a heads-up fight where nobody's prepared, where Batman doesn't have time to get in his fucking bag, like when he doesn't have time to get in his fucking bag, Superman kills him in like seconds.
But is Superman, or is he Clark Kent? Like, does he let go?
So actually, his glasses that he wears during the day, like when he's Clark Kent, actually make him appear meager to the rest of the world. So it's for the people that see him, it's two different people that they're seeing. That's why you can't tell when he goes from Clark Kent to Superman, because it's the glasses. It's Kryptonian technology.
Then he rips his glasses off like a
and then it goes
librarian.
Back. Boom. Yeah. It's like his muscles pop out. And you're like, oh shit, they do exist.
What's your next tattoo?
My next.
Because I see a lot of real estate.
Oh, my next.
And
tattoo.
I know you're hooked.
Oh, I'm hooked.
Yeah,
my next tattoo is probably gonna be an anime that I really enjoy. Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul.
I don't know that, Dana. Do you know that? No.
It's a super dark anime, but it's really entertaining and it has a lot of like dope themes.
Okay.
So I like
like
it.
Dope themes, like drug dope, or
No.
dope hip hop.
Like cool themes. It's wrapped around this kind of idea of vampire-ish type things with their ghouls. They have to like feast.
Okay.
And on humans, but some do it and they feast on regular humans, and some don't kill. They just wait till people kill themselves because there's a suicide force in Japan, so they just wait till people do that, and go eat the bodies there. But super dark. But
There is a suicide forest in Japan, right?
Yeah, there is.
really is. I saw that. Did you see that, Dana?
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, there's a suicide forest.
There's
There's like
suicide.
signs all over saying, please don't go in here. You're
Yeah.
going to get depressed. And people go in there. And that's,
people go in there. It's there was a couple of YouTube influencers that got in trouble for insulting the area because it's also like a sacred area.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so tell us, what's your book?
My book is Kingdom Come. It's one of my favorite like Justice League stories.
Oh, I was going to say, what universe is it? So it's a Justice League?
So this is like the Justice League, but it's way on in their career. Like Superman has a freaking ponytail and it's gray all the way down.
Does he have a man bun?
He has a man bun going on. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He has a man bun going on.
For gender equality, we just need to call them buns.
Yes. He has
Stop
buns.
shaming men for having long hair.
True. He
I
has
don't
he has
mind the long
buns.
hair. It's when they put it up in a pretty little bun.
But the thing is that as a woman, I get to put my hair in a bun because it's very relaxing and warm. Like, it keeps the heat off. And men should get to have that too if they have long hair. We need to give them some love so that they can give women some love so we can have gender equality.
Okay.
And we'll die on this hill.
All right, here. Okay, so it's in the Marvel, no,
DC universe.
I know,
But actually
I
it's-
caught it though.
What's funny that you say that. One of the main characters, the I guess the Benedict Arnold of it all, the Judas of this whole thing, his name is Captain Marvel. He's Shazam. What happens is that he's goes into this mind control that Lex Luthor puts him under, and he turns against the entire Justice League. Now they're all old as shit, but to be fair, Shazam at this time is maybe middle age.
Do superheroes age?
Superman ages at an incredibly slow rate. Batman at this point is just straight bionic. His chest is all like an exoskeleton. It's all he's just all bionic. And Superman, he still has the strength. Actually, has more strength than he did because Superman is at that point. He's gotten past his allergy to kryptonite and everything. Because later on in his career, he's no longer weak to any of that.
All right, so jump into your book report.
Okay, so it wraps around Shazam betrays Justice League. They're all kind of old, but they've had this big falling out. There's heroes popping up all over, just metahumans, just saving their own town, but there's no real guard reeling them in, so people are dying left and right.
It's like the Wild Wild
It's
West.
like the Wild West, but
Okay.
for metahumans.
Superheroes. Okay.
Yeah, for superheroes. And
Alright.
the old guard is all the original Justice League. And some of them are fucking dead. I think Flash is dead in this one, if I'm not mistaken. And more go on to die or face life-threatening things, but it's all based around Lex Luthor. He's planning. He wants to take over and kill all of the remaining members of the Justice League, and he's
So Lex Luthor is still around and still wrecking havoc.
Oh yeah, Lex Luthor has figured out how to sustain his life much longer than an average human. Yeah. But money buys you anything. Especially money plus technology. That he has everything that he needs, but he also he's been poisoned with kryptonite radiation from using it on Superman so many times. So the suit that he wears actually keeps him alive, but he uses that radiation to actually fight Superman a lot. But you'll see it in this. But so essentially it's the old guard against the new guard. These new heroes like I think Empyrean, these huge big heroes. Because there was a big calamity. They destroy this huge town, massive town, and they just wipe them off the fucking map. And
on Earth and
they're on Earth, and
So the new heroes.
the new heroes don't play by the regular rules.
They're going buck wild.
They're going buck wild.
Okay.
So Batman is he goes to Wonder Woman. He's like, you gotta get Big Blue back, because we can't reel these guys in by ourselves. Not to mention their big gun they can't take by themselves. I think his name is Empyrean. It's something with a horn, but. Essentially, they're fighting for control, old guard, new guard, and all while Lex Luthor is plotting and pulling strings on everything.
Yeah, kind of like watching them destroy themselves,
watching
right?
them destroy themselves.
So is Lex Luthor one of the main characters of this
Yeah,
book?
but
Okay.
you see it in the beginning that he's doing it, but you don't see fully what his plan is until much later on.
Okay.
And it goes massive fight scenes, huge destruction. They cause a lot of damage, which I never understood watching, even watching the shows and reading it. how they eliminated the fact that people aren't dying. These guys, the new heroes, were killing people left and right, but Superman was destroying cities. He went through like 16 buildings in Metropolis in just like one comic book, and nobody died. Were you dodging people as you were getting thrown through buildings? I don't know, but
right. They don't address that.
They don't address that very well, but
They were just the vacant floors. So like, oh, no one lives on the 22nd floor. I'll fight at this one.
yeah. So it's pretty much wrapped around Superman coming back.
Okay.
Superman, because he took a hiatus. After
And
this.
where is he? Is he on his
he's on his farm.
Oh, he's on his farm.
He's on his farm. He's just working as a farmer.
Wow.
Yeah, and they find him there, but he said he didn't want to do the whole hero thing anymore.
It was like an earth farm, like in Kansas.
Yeah.
Like not like a space farm on a.
And actually, where is it called? Smallville does exist. It's in Smallville actually is a place. I've been there. They have a statue to Superman in the middle of town.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So do they convince Superman to come out of retirement?
They convince him, but it's because so many people are dying. But his fix is, I'm gonna throw everybody in a super prison, and
okay, that works.
if you don't play by our rules,
okay,
because he's a boomer, so
Yes.
he just said lock him up. He was like, I don't know what the fuck to do with him. I can't beat them all, but I can lock them away. So they work on making a super prison. They throw all these new heroes in and say, if you don't act right, we throw you in there. What winds up happening, everybody in the super prison revolts, and Superman has to like bat them down, gets his ass kicked.
Batman's like, we had a prison where we put all the super bad guys.
It was majority Batman's idea, but it usually is.
Didn't work the first time.
Well, Batman is a planner. Batman he also had a contingency if that happened anyway.
Okay.
So, but Batman has a contingency plan for every single member of the Justice League. Every single one. That's why it's not fucking fair. Like, every time he beats Superman, it's not fucking fair.
Okay, all right, I got it. Yeah,
when he gets in
Superman,
the bag.
Yeah, Superman go. Batman back.
It's not fucking fair.
All right.
One time he used a freaking kryptonite arrow from Green Arrow. I'm like, you can't call friends. It's bullshit. I am. It's because he's bullshit. Because he's just a regular ass human, but he be winning every time. How you beat a god every time? What is this bullshit?
Well, Superman has all the power, so he doesn't have to try, but Batman's like, I'm just a normal man with a butt ton of money, so I'm going to try really hard and spend lots of cash.
Hell yeah. I'm like, this some bullshit.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
So
Go for it.
So it's funny because I just pictured Superman on his farm, and having watched the Henry Cavill one where Kevin Costner was his dad, I just think, did he build a baseball field? Because Kevin Costner was in Field of Dreams, and they're like,
Oh, you're crossing universes.
yes, like when I saw that movie, I was like, Superman can make that baseball field hella fast. He just run around
that'd be
and pull
nice.
on the corner.
Yeah.
I had to get that off my chest.
Okay, I'm glad you did. Are you making this a freaking 3.5 hour movie for the theater, or are you making this
No,
a 6-part Netflix
This story's too long to not be episodic.
episodic?
Yeah, it has to be episodic because the rounding up all of the new heroes to put them in that prison. Just for that time frame, there's so much that happens within that time frame.
And who do you want? Do you want the Russo brothers doing this, or do you want somebody else?
I don't want the Russo brothers touching it.
Oh, the Softy brothers?
Nah, fuck them. I'm sorry. I'm a movie buff, and I know. And
Wait,
I heard J.J. Abrams does good things.
I want.
Coogler.
Coogler, I do like Coogler.
Okay.
I think lately, in his most recent stuff, he played a little bit too into the tropes.
That's what you got to do. It sells tickets.
It sold tickets. It did what it was supposed to do.
So where are you going with it? Who do you want?
But for me, I would, in a perfect universe, I would like to see James Gunn and Zack Snyder working on it.
Oh.
That would be, because James Gunn, while he doesn't get a lot of credit, I recently looked at like the Justice League, like not the comics but the series, and the way that he built around Superman's world, the way that was built around Superman's world, well, Zack Snyder, I guess this was his idea. Zack Snyder built in pieces of the Justice League. The first few episodes of the Justice League series is Man of Steel and then it leads on into the Justice, what's it called, the Justice League and all of that. It all takes place he pulls it straight from the series.
Oh.
From the parademons.
So he was
to the
setting
world
up the
engine.
universe for a long time.
He was setting up the universe for something massive. He was just building it up.
Uh-huh.
But I do agree that 4-hour movie was an ordeal of time, but not an ordeal of like watching. I thoroughly enjoy the story, but I would like to see James Gunn and him come together because James Gunn has done a beautiful job with Marvel. Because bringing it together with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that's finally giving the depth that was, because there's parts of depth that they've thrown in throughout Marvel, but there wasn't sincere depth. And Rocket's story is I think the only way you could get there, because Peter Quill, his story has kind of run aground, and Rocket's really the only story that you could keep the story, you could give it a satisfying end with.
Right on.
Otherwise, it's just like 2 hours worth of I am Groot.
Yeah.
Tell Groot's story and that's the whole flashback. Everyone's like, I am Groot. Like,
well, Vin Diesel has to get paid for something.
He does. Well, Fast 10 is coming out. So
yeah, which is insane, but I'm still gonna go see it.
Yeah,
Still
I'm in the
see
same
it.
camp. Yeah, I'm like, that's stupid. I'll go.
Yeah, for real. Like, I just want to see what they're gonna come up with next.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys were in space last time. Where are we going? Are we doing dimensions?
Yeah.
Are we doing exactly? I'm like, are we doing dimensions now? Is there a separate team on Earth too?
Yeah,
Like,
they're gonna
know.
bend time and bring back the dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just his brother, and they just close his face. God, they've tried. They did that in the end of one of the Fast 7 or something.
All right, Dana, you got what you need for an
I
improv
do.
scene? Are you ready
All right,
to improv?
let's do it.
Okay.
All right, let's go for it.
As you know, Batman, I'm Superman working on my allergy to kryptonite. It doesn't kill me, but I'm not quite immune to it yet.
Have you tried Flonase?
I mean, the Zyrtec kind of helps a little bit because they're both green, but and then sometimes, it just makes me itchy. Can you get me the Benadryl?
We got some Themiscarin cream.
Oh yeah, just rub that all over my body.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, your billionaire hands are so soft. Yes. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Maybe we should get it away. This is the part where it upsets my stomach.
Oh,
You don't
would you
wanna-
like some Pepto-Bismol?
Yes.
We've got Kryptonian.
Ooh. Oh, it's green instead of pink, but does it still taste chalky? I like that part.
It tastes limey, a little limey.
Ooh.
It's got a lime
Okay.
taste.
Ooh, and how strong are the toilets here? Because I'm gonna need a big one.
I'll just give you a plunger and pray.
You maybe want to clear out the bottom 3 floors of this building.
Cold blue.
And scene. Okay.
Oh man, thanks a lot. Okay, real quick, not Marvel or DC, but did you hear that the Russo brothers are going to do Battle of the Planets, which growing up to me was G-Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard about that?
I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, I heard about that recently, and they said that it's going to probably take 5 years because they want to build the universe and make this a multi-picture deal.
But you see,
Battle of the Planets?
that would be dope. But that's the thing that I think that they don't give those Marvel directors that much credit for. They've set a blueprint for now how movies are made. You know, like how many times have you seen where an entire built-out universe was made?
Yeah.
Now everybody's doing it. Nintendo wants to do a whole video game movie series. Battle of the Planets whole movie series. That's impressive.
I can't wait for Battle, because that was my cartoon growing up. Because one of the heroes was a big chubby guy, and I was like, "Look at that! I can do that!" You know. So, dude, thanks for being a guest. Thank you to both our guests. This was such a great. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? You were like coming into it. You're like, I don't know. It's stage time. We're gonna do it.
And thank you to the 2 people in the audience. I love the bright colors of your summer shirt and dress.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. That was our show. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you to Stab Comedy for doing these crazy shows with us, and we'll see you guys next month. We're every third Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
to the other Jesse behind the scenes.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, guys. That is it for the book report. They'll be back next month. And that's it for our streaming programming. You can check us out 6 nights a week doing stuff, or we're live in person Thursdays through Sundays. So check out stabcomedytheater.com for a full calendar of events. Have a good night, everybody. If you're in person, the mic's going to start in a little bit. So stick around for that if you want to, or we'll see you again next week.